Hello. Um, Last time I shared with you the introduction to my book called Maybe Someday, Maybe Someday, of poetry that I wrote when I was 17 and 18. And really, I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and finally actually recording that and sharing it has really kind of given me a bit of a boost. And I'm ready and excited to continue sharing some more. Um, so, as I said last time, I would like to just go through one by one, sharing each thing I wrote in here, each poem, um, sharing it with you, and then afterwards, talking a little bit about sort of the meaning behind it to me, and maybe breaking it down a little bit, and talking about the story of it and and my story throughout. So the very first poem is one called Rearrange, and it was the very first poem I ever wrote. And as I said in the last video, in the preface section, it was written on the day that I almost killed myself. So yeah, if you want to check that out, you can go look at the other video if you haven't already. And yeah, so I wrote this while I was in not a good place and was trying to kill myself. And then just out of nowhere, as I described in the preface section, got an urge that I needed to write something, and pulled out my phone and wrote this in just a couple minutes. And yeah, then from there it started my journey of writing and healing from that, and getting to the place I am today, where I'm a much healthier person mentally, and I'm in a much better place in life. And so I'll start by just reading it to you, and then might go line by line and talk a bit about what some of it means to me. So here's the range. Lost, lost, lost. What else of me? Lost. What me of else? Lost. Stay or move on? Change or remain? Stay, move on. Change, remain, rearrange. So much, yet so little. So strong, yet so brittle. So complex, yet so simple. Why, in this world of waves, do I continue to feel like no more than a ripple? Lost. Stay or move on. Change or remain. Stay, move on. Change, remain, rearrange. Stay, move on. Change and rearrange. Found? Lost. To be so much, but how to do it, when I'm the only one to get me through it. No one to help, no one to guide. But is that really the truth that I believe in? Have I come this far just to leave then? No, but I can't. Still I have to go on. Can't lose my faith in what's only begun. How can I help? How can I guide? stay, move on, change, remain, rearrange. Stay, move on, change, arrange. All of these pieces lay around me, but when will I be able to arrange all of this hopeful brokenness and live a better life? So, kind of already told you a little bit about the story of it, but I'll go into a little bit more detail about what certain parts here really mean to me. I think most of this is pretty self-explanatory, but yeah. So that first section, a lot of repetition of lost, and I was just, honestly, how I felt for so long then, just so lost in life. Like, I already struggled a lot with mental health and stuff, and depression, all that fun stuff. Yay. And then, of course, I was, that was the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. And I just had no idea really what my future looked like. And I had a lot of pressure to start figuring that stuff out, like plans for college and jobs and all these things. And felt like I was being pulled in all these different directions and having no direction myself. And then, of course, that too was the year of COVID. And so that just added so much to all that and escalated it so much higher. And so, yeah, I just felt so lost. And I think the what else of me and what me of else, for a while I didn't really like those lines because I just felt like it sounded weird, but I feel like it perfectly and simply explains kind of a deeper thing I felt at the time, where like, what else of me? Like, what else is there to me right now other than feeling lost? Because I just felt so lost. It was like, felt like my entire identity. Like, what am I besides lost? And then with the what me of else, because I felt so engulfed in this like feeling of being lost, I felt like, what me, like, who am I if I'm not lost? Like, will I truly still be me if I'm not lost? Like, this dark, lost place I was in had just become like the core of my identity to myself, and so that's what that means. And then, so I ended up getting interrupted last time I was recording. So it's now about a week or so later, and I'll continue where we left off on Arrange. We had just kind of started going through and breaking it down a bit. And so the next part of it was the part where I was asking the questions of stay or move on, change or remain. And that was kind of just, as I said before about the whole lost part at the beginning, I was just very much in a dark place in my life, and feeling like I had no clear direction, didn't know what I needed, what I wanted. And so I was always asking myself, sort of, whether I should stay where I am, both like literally and figuratively. Like, should I stay on this path that I'm on in life? Is this what's best for me? Or should I move on and try something different? Should I try changing who I am? Will that make me better? Will that make my life better? And I mean, similarly, should I change or remain? Same kind of thing, but thinking about staying or moving on from where I am in life, or changing or remaining like the same person as I am. So then with the next part where it's like as a statement where I say stay, move on, change, remain, rearrange. Um, that part kind of reflects how um, because I felt so lost with all those things, not knowing what to do, I felt like I was constantly, like one moment I would be staying as I am and feeling like that was the right way for me to go. And then I'd suddenly be trying to move on and do something different. And um, then I'm trying to change who I am, uh, thinking that might help. And then I'm suddenly going back to trying to stick to how I am and have always been. And like I was constantly rearranging who I am and how I lived and all these things. So that's what that part is. Then there's the next section of so much yet so little, so strong yet so brittle, so complex yet so simple. Why, in this world of waves, do I continue to feel like no more than a ripple? Um, I mean, that part I think is pretty self explanatory. Just, um, I think the main important part there is that last part of, um, like, this big, wild world. Um, like, with all that's going on in the world and all these other people around me and everything that just feels so much bigger and better than me, I just always felt like essentially worthless. Like, what difference does it make whether I'm here or not? Um,
Hey, editor me here. I just wanted to add that on that part, I also meant that with that world of waves, it's like um, all these other people out there in the world and around me doing these like big, great things, like people growing and um, being able to do all these great things that I just felt like I could never amount to this, to these levels that others do, and just feeling like I could never really be good enough or compare to these people around me. And while other people continue to grow and be successful in all these different ways and make waves of difference in the world and their own lives, no matter what, I'll just continue to be nothing but a little ripple in comparison.
and because I feel so insignificant, again, it brings me back to being lost. So um, then it repeats lost and the question and statements part. Um, and then it has a little added part of stay, move on, change, and rearrange. And then found, lost. And that part's me then, like the change and rearrange. It's like I've changed and rearranged myself, and I'm thinking, have I found myself or my right direction now? Um, and that would happen several times where I change myself and I think, okay, this is it. I figured it out. And then, nope, lost again. And it just felt kind of never ending. Um, but although it all felt quite hopeless and like this constant cycle of just never improving, just up and down, back and forth all the time. In this next part, I was trying to show a little bit of hope and perseverance through that. So, to be so much, but how to do it when I'm the only one to get me through it. Like, I have so many expectations and goals for myself and everything that, um, again, it feels so overwhelming, and I can't comprehend how I could ever get to a better place or reach all these things I want to, especially when I feel so isolated and alone. Like no one can truly help me. No one can truly understand me. So there's no one to help, no one to guide, as I say then in that next part. Like, I mean, essentially, I'm just on my own journey. Um, no one can tell me what the right next steps are. Um, and so that's that kind of stuff is what kind of led me to this being lost because I don't know where I'm going or what the right steps are. Um, but then in the next part here, instead of giving up, I ask, but is that really the truth that I believe in? Have I come this far just to leave then? Um, kind of showing a bit of hope. Um, a little part of me that still at least somewhat believes that I can find that right path. I can be found. I can get to a better place. And that I've made it. I mean, to quote sort of one of my favorite songs by 21 Pilots, Migraine. Um, um, we've made it this far, kid. Um, and so, like, have I really come this far now just to leave? Am I gonna give up after all this time, after as far as I've come? And so then I say no, but I can't. Still, I have to go on. Can't lose my faith in what's only begun. Um, Again, showing a little bit of hope that I may not know the right direction for myself right now, but trying to convince myself that it's best to keep going. It's better to make the wrong steps than no steps at all. Um, if I don't move at all, I'll never find that right path. If I just stop moving and give up and, um, I mean, as I was going to that day, kill myself, um, I'll never, there will be no zero chance of me ever finding a place I want to be. But if I keep taking steps, even if it's in the wrong direction, even if it's a very small chance, there's at least some chance that I'll get there. So then I ask myself, how can I help? How can I guide? Knowing, again, as I said earlier, that I'm the only one to get me through it. I need to try to help and guide myself as much as I can. Um, and hopefully get to a place that I'm happy with. So then I just continue on as before with the stay, move on, change, remain, rearrange, hoping that one day I'll get to a place where, as I say next, I'll stay, move on, change, arrange, and then be arranged in that way that um, in a way that I'm truly happy with, and um, like being found, feeling whole. Like I've finally done it. I'm happy. I found my place in this world, and um, can finally find some love for myself, and um, all that. Just kind of fully being able to understand myself and be happy with who I am. So then I end with all of these pieces lay around me, but when will I be able to arrange all of this hopeful brokenness and live a better life? Again, just reflecting that um, I know I'm not there yet. I know I'm still very much broken and shattered to pieces, but I'm no longer hopeless. That brokenness is a hopeful brokenness. It's not just seeing it as shattered and can't be repaired, it's seeing it as seeing all those pieces as a means to build something new and make it whole again, so that one day I will be whole and I can live that better life. And so that's the end of Rearrange. And I think this ended up being a bit long. Still getting used to um, doing this kind of thing. I've never shared anything in this way before. Not exactly the best communicator or um, the best in front of a camera or anything. So it's very stressful and difficult for me, not gonna lie. But just trying to do it and plan to stick with it. Hopefully, I'll get better and you'll enjoy this journey, seeing um, the journey of myself over time through this book, and um, growing with making these videos and sharing all this with you guys. Um, so, yeah, I guess thanks for watching, and hope that I see you next time. And of course, remember that, as I said at the end of that one poem I shared last time, my Arranging the Pieces poem, um, remember, as that last line said, that we're all broken and we're just arranging the pieces. Thank you.